Hey guys, it's Maurice from the Beat Brokers Network.
And it's Brandy from It's a BST World.
And we're here to introduce our new artist development company, B.A.D, which is Bang Artist Development.
And basically what Bang Artist Development stands for is everything that you do it to the utmost ability and make sure you do it with a bang.
And we pretty much want to dispel the stigma in Memphis that a lot of people don't want to work together, they don't want to help you out. We're here to provide those services. If you need that extra stage performance, if you need help with Twitter or setting up a Facebook, MySpace page, we're here. Bang Artist Development.
Make sure you get that in your brains, people.
You a bad mother.
Shut your mouth.
So what do you think that it takes for an artist in this climate, in this digital age, to be successful as opposed to 10, 15 years ago when there was no YouTube, no Twitter, no TuneCore, things of that nature?
They have to be creative. You got to really start thinking outside of the box and working outside of the box. Like say the things was for 10 years ago, 5 to 10 years ago, it was easy. You know, you have an artist or somebody come out and scout and look at you and you got a deal. Now, it's so competitive because, let's start with artists being professional and then getting the label's attention.
Right.
For example, I hate to use this cliche, but if you want to get a young lady's attention, what are you going to do? Are you going to go and look like a bum? You're going to dress up? You're going to look real nice? What are you going to do to get a lady's attention?
You're going to introduce yourself in a respectful manner.
Exactly. So you got to dress yourself. You got to look at yourself as a product, and you got to make your product as much as competitive as your competitor. Which means if your competitor comes to the table, he's going to have a product on the table, you have you on the table, and you got a buyer on the table, and they're going to look at your product and say, hey, why should I buy your product?
Right.
Versus buying this product. You got to create something different. You got to work outside of the box to make yourself more marketable.
The common mistake a lot of people make is they do these mixtapes and they get satisfied doing mixtapes and they don't think about putting out an actual album where you can make money, because again it falls back to when your friends like the music, you're entertaining to your fans, but man, you got other people who want to actually purchase your music and they support it. And then on top of that, a lot of people are satisfied with just the mixtape and then they don't know what to do with it after they get it out, because they feel like, I put out this mixtape, okay, it's out there.
Right.
Now that's where the work just began. You gotta actually promote it to get new people to come and get it. And for the first few days, a lot of people there put it on Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is. And then after about a month, it's like, okay, I want to drop another mixtape.
Right.
But probably 12 people downloaded the other mixtape. So you still gotta get out there and work your mixtape. If you gotta, drive out, put mixtapes in people's mailboxes, whatever it is you gotta do. That's right. For example, I had somebody that hit me up on Facebook the other day and they was like, well, I'm trying to get on with music, how do I get on? But I told them the formula that worked for me may not work for you.
Right.
I have a different kind of people listening to my music. They may view you as this and they may view me as this. But if you try to follow my formula, they may not accept that from you because it's not really you.
Right.
And you got to be creative with your marketing strategy.
You know, that's another important point. Like, I think that anybody that wants to be an artist, be as truthful as you can be in your music, because you're trying to sell a lifestyle. You're trying to sell your lifestyle. So if you can't even afford to keep up with what you're talking about in your lyrics, you wrote something the other day, it's like, don't go broke trying to look rich.
Yeah.
Like, and
that's
that's crazy, and a lot of people do it because they think that that's the only way that you can make it to a certain point. I like storytelling. I understand when people are being genuine when they're saying something. You can feel it, just like the old LTD and Jeffrey Osborne records. Like, when you sing, you hear dynamics, you can just feel it. When you're talking about the same things, popping bottles and this, a smart person is going to start doing the math and then looking at your situation and saying, okay, a case of Ace is going to cost you this.
Yeah.
VIP in this club is going to cost you this.
Yeah.
Like, you're not even signed to a label. Like, when I see you, you're driving a Neon.
Right. It's just like the typical artist now thinks you gotta be a gangster, you gotta be a thug. But the question I always ask is, if you talk about how you selling dope on your iPhone,
right?
I mean, and you doing all these different things, you killing people in your app, you promoting your crime.
Right. Don't be offended when they come out. We come out to you.
So the police should know, okay, I'm gonna go catch that person. But if they go to you and you don't have no dirt on your name, you selling a lie to the people.
The thing about everything we talk about, you have to be, go back to the beginning, you have to be marketable. You can't be afraid to be vocal, be able to get your point across in a professional manner. And we haven't heard from you yet.
Chiming in on what you were saying, I think a lot of artists do get satisfied with being a hobby rapper. You know, they get caught up in the mixtape game or just making music to satisfy their friends. That's how you can separate that hobby artist from artist that truly wants to pursue a real career in the industry. You know, when you find yourself doing the small things, those small things that a lot of people don't want to do, updating your blog every single day, updating the Twitter every day, you know, reaching out to your Facebook fans every day. Those things that a lot of artists, you know, really don't want to fool with that have somebody else do. That's when you like a really serious artist.
Those little things you're doing, you're paying your dues, you're digging your ditches, and they all add up.
Right.
You know, because sometimes you can go out to a bigger project and you crumble fast, and you invested all your into something big versus investing into these small things. And at the end of the day, you pissed off or are not happy about the ending result.
Right.
What you put into that bag or that product or what you're going to get out of it, you can't be angry.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if you put 100% product, or pure, or whatever you put into that bag, you can't get nothing but.
My college coach used to always tell us life is like a piggy bank. You get out what you put into it.
Right.
So the same thing. And I took what I learned with basketball and applied it to my music career.
Right.
So I stay up late nights, you know, tweeting or Facebook or doing the research. I read, study people that came before me, all these different things, because I'm a firm believer in if you want to play the game, you first got to learn the rules of the game before you get into it. But say if I look at an artist on TV and I say I want to be where he is, I take what they did, first think about where did they start and where did they end up, and now you got to look at their whole picture, break it down and rebuild it to get back. And now you know each step that it took and apply it to your situation, but of course you got to put your own tweak on it and make it your own. Why would a label want to sign you when they already have this person that's doing what you're doing that's trying to copy?
Right, and it's been doing it longer and better and already has a following.
For example, the Memphis artists, a lot of people sound like, you know, the Project Packs and the Yo Gottis, which is cool. They put the stamp on the Memphis sound. But if you're another artist trying to come out of Memphis, why would you try to sound like these same people?
Right.
For example, if we have a pool of red right here, why would you jump in the pool of red with red on and think you're gonna stand out?
Right.
Jump in with some green, jump in with some blue. The average artist, upcoming artists who don't know the people accept them, the biggest fear is, will they accept me?
Right.
But you gotta walk by faith.
You know, I think the most fundamental thing that an artist needs to know is you can always take it back to the golden rule. Treat people how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
And that could go a lot of different ways. Like you said, being professional. You don't want anybody coming to you the wrong way or being late for things. And even more importantly than that, asking people for things for free all the time. Like, people have bills. You may have the talent, but if you feel like you have the talent, you have to be willing to invest in yourself before anybody else invests in you. You have to believe in yourself enough to either get a job, save some money, find investors, or whatever you have to do to make yourself seem serious to other people. Because if you go to people and like, yeah, you know, all you got to do is give me this, and then we'll make it hot and we'll sell this many albums and this and that, you're not hot now.
Why would you expect somebody else to invest in your career when you don't invest in your own career?
Exactly.
Right.
If you want to invest in people's world, jobs are hard to get. No one's doing hiring. You know, the financial market or the job market, it sucks. Okay, great. Well then, if you're a musician, think outside of the box, like I said before. Okay, there's so many people that's trying to license music.
Exactly.
You got commercials, you got TV shows, you got movies, you got sponsorship, video games, Nike, everybody, milk, does a body good, whatever. Christmas, every season, every year, Christmas, Thanksgiving. People are always sending you hooks. If you're connected and doing what you're supposed to do, network prize for us, in network, they're gonna ask you Thanksgiving song. So who got the best Christmas song? You gotta always keep promoting and then contact Coca-Cola. Hey, I got the new hot song for Coca-Cola.
Right.
You gotta think outside the box, market your music so it get licensed so that you can make your money. You don't have to work at McDonald's.
Right.
Yeah.
You can make a song for McDonald's.
Exactly.
You know?
And it all goes back to your goals too. You have to know what your short-term goal is, what your long-term goal is. 1 year, 6 months, 1 year, 5 year, 10 year. Know where you are and know where you want to end up. And you'll find out what you have to do in between just by knowing where you are and where you want to be.
Look at the 5 people who you surround yourself with, and that'll give you an idea of where you headed in your life, because those are the people you're influenced by. And that's another piece of advice I would give to any upcoming artists. due to the fact that if you have a bunch of friends who ain't doing nothing, and you as the one who's trying to spearhead and, you know, make this move, and they on your coattail, man, you may only make it, but they can pull you back because they trying to pull themselves up, and in the same process, going you down. So surround yourself with people who are doing the same thing that you're doing, but better.
My best advice, like you're saying, I think everybody, all artists, they don't know what a proposal is. You should make a proposal for themselves. Propose yourself. And proposal starts to like who you are, what your product, what your goals are, what you expect to make, what you expect to do with your music, and the end results to the end, and how you be able to pay yourself at the end of the day. Build a proposal for yourself. I mean, literally take it's business this day.
Right.
And sometimes when it comes to the label, people don't even listen to music. They look at who's following this guy.
I would say closing statements for me is, for an artist, the simple things that you can do that don't take a lot of time or a lot of money. If you're going to be serious about this business, start with the fundamentals. Register yourself with BMI or ASCAP as a writer. Copyright your material. So if you sell it on iTunes, you have the chance to get residual income. Set a budget for yourself. If you're not capable of taking care of all of your needs yourself, set a budget. Talk to people.
Realistic budget.
Realistic budget. Talk to people, network with people. There's no harm in asking people, what do you charge for this? Even if you have to say, I don't have that right now, but just to know how much it is, you can save that money, and then when the time comes and you can afford it, there you go, you have it. There's no guessing and there's no begging involved with it. And you get taken more seriously.
Never give up. Don't be afraid to be different, and don't be afraid to be yourself.
For me, it would be invest in your own career if you are serious, and be professional, be persistent, and just keep pursuing your career.
You a bad mother.
Shut your mouth.